Podcast with ALISHA Marie! I'm so excited. We talked about beauty vloggers. We talked some shit. We talked a lot. We talked about morning routines and how Jess just drinks and poops. Are you eating whipped cream out of a can?
No, I have like whipped cream on my schnoz, so I'm trying to take a picture.
It's amazing. Go check it out. You're going to love it. You're going to see a side of her you've never seen before. SoundCloud.com/shanedawsonsucks. Bye. Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, it is time again for another creepy video. Now, I'm just going to start by warning you that today's video is extremely graphic, and some of these stories are very, very intense. Because today we're going to be talking about deaths that occurred because of online dating. Online dating is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and every day it becomes more and more popular. Over 50 million people have tried online dating. But because so many people are trying it, sometimes the wrong people try it, and it can turn into a nightmare. First, we're going to be talking about a death that occurred because of Tinder. So this happened on August 8th of 2014 in Australia. There was a 26-year-old girl named Marina Wright. She was a tourist from New Zealand who met up with a bodybuilder that she met on Tinder named Gable Toasty. So they matched on Tinder and they met up right away.
Warriena Wright and Gable Toasty are virtual strangers when they meet in Central Surfers Paradise, only connecting 6 days earlier on Tinder.
Let's get drunk together. I'm a porn star after a few drinks.
Now, after they had a couple of drinks at the bar, they left. And they went to a liquor store, they got some more drinks, and they went back up to his apartment. Now, it was around 2 a.m. and they seemed to be having a good time. They were taking a bunch of selfies, they were hanging out, and things seemed to be going pretty well. And then something changed. Now, the details on this are a little bit unclear as to what exactly went down, but supposedly they started fighting and she started getting aggressive and trying to throw things at him, and then he tried to pin her down. And then at some point, she got so aggressive that he actually pushed her out onto the balcony and locked the door. So then, of course, she's banging on the door, begging to come back in, and then moments later, she fell. The balcony to Gable's apartment was 14 stories high, and she fell all the way down to her death. Now, of course, right away, when the police come, everybody assumes that Gable pushed her or that he did it. But oddly enough, he recorded the entire night. Why he recorded the night, I don't know. But he did. And there is a 3-hour recording that has some scary shit in it.
No!
Yeah, very intense. There's even moments on the tape where he says things like this. "This is fucking bullshit. You're lucky I even chucked you off my fucking balcony, you goddamn psycho little bitch." And then right before she fell and died, you can hear this.
You let me go home! I would, but you've been back up.
Now this is where it gets really weird. After she fell, Gable left his apartment to get pizza, walked around for a while, and then called his dad. And he said this.
"Hello, Dad? I might have a bit of a situation. I met up with a girl for a date tonight, and she started getting really aggressive. It was because she was really drunk, and I forced her out on the balcony, and I think she might have jumped off."
I know, fucking disturbing. And after all of that, Gable was dismissed. He was cleared of murder. They said he didn't do it, and he said it was self-defense. Either way, this is a Tinder date that should never have happened. Okay, now this next story is incredibly fucked up, and that's because this involves online dating and also a sex slave. It's a lot. In 2012, a man named Graham Dwyer was a successful architect and a father of 3. He had an obsession with sexual fantasies that were mixed with severe violence. And he was trying to find somebody that would be his sexual slave and let him hurt them. Well, he found his perfect lover and victim, and her name was Elaine O'Hara. So Elaine O'Hara was 36 years old, and she was a child care worker. She had a pretty fucked up past and had a lot of mental issues. She also had a history of self-harm and suicidal tendencies. Now, she also was really into BDSM. Now, when she met Graham online, they started talking about how they both really loved BDSM, and then it started taking a darker turn. Now, some of the things that they were typing back and forth to each other were insane. Here's just a few clips of it.
"I'm your secret killer. My urge to rape, stab, and kill is huge. Still dying to knife someone. Stab, 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 rape, kill."
Yeah, really, really intense. And this next one was even worse.
"It will all be worth it when I kill you. Smiley face."
Now, Elaine's co-workers started noticing that she had some marks on her body, some bruises, and they were concerned.
She was in the shop and she stretched up to get something and she had bandages on her stomach, and I just kind of passingly said, Elaine, what have you done to yourself? You know, what are you doing to yourself? And she said, oh, it's all right, it's nothing, Caroline, it's nothing, that Caroline. But in hindsight now, maybe, you know, doesn't seem that it was her that was doing it at all. Like.
And one friend even explains why they think that Elaine fell for Graham.
What Elaine was looking for more than anything was someone to love her and have a companion. She was a very lonely, vulnerable girl, and he couldn't have picked a better person, a more vulnerable person to prey on.
Now, over the course of their relationship, they met up several times to have sex, and it got really intense. He would beat her, he would cut her, he even stabbed her once. But she survived all of those until August of 2012. Graham asked Elaine to meet him in a park, and while he was having sex with her, he started stabbing her. But this time he didn't stop. He kept stabbing until she died. Now, because of her history of suicidal tendencies, his plan was that when she met him in the park, she would, leave her car empty, and people would think that it was a suicide. Well, a year later, a dog walker found Elaine's bones in the dirt, and now Graham is serving a lifetime in jail. Ugh, God, that one's just like, I just can't believe people like that exist. Fuck. Now this next story is less violent, but almost more disturbing, and this is a story of one of the scariest catfishes ever. There was a woman named Natalie Burkas who had a very strange habit. She liked to steal identities of beautiful women online and enter in relationships with vulnerable young men, and she would create multiple characters and talk in different voices. Now that seems very creepy, but it gets even creepier. Sometimes she would kill the characters off. Like, she would be talking to the guy that was in love with her and then call back the next day as a friend and say, oh my God, your girlfriend died, which would make them incredibly depressed. And these men really did think it was real.
Were you really in love?
Yeah.
It felt really real?
Yeah, it felt real.
She sometimes would even talk to them as if she was the 5-year-old daughter of the girl she was pretending to be. So fucking creepy.
What did she say to you?
Just saying, Daddy, Daddy, like telling me what's happened during the day, or if Daddy, Daddy, Mum's done drugs again.
Now this is where it gets really dark. One of the men that she was catfishing was named Peter Russell. He was in love with the fake person she created named Laura West. He even sent her a video on his 21st birthday asking her to marry him.
And he fell in love, to the point that last year, on his 21st birthday, he sent her a video message asking her to marry him.
Well then, Laura, who was actually Natalie, broke up with him and he killed himself 3 months later. Now because of this and also all the other lives that she ruined, she was sentenced to 2 years in jail. Now her answer to why she did all this is very disturbing. Check it out.
I've never felt attractive and I've never felt love. I'm a mess. I literally didn't like who I was. I hated my life. And so that's when I first created Amy. They were the puppets and I was the puppeteer, and I was just pulling the strings and sitting back and watching the show. I was the puppeteer and I was the audience, And I kind of got off on that sometimes.
Okay, so this last one we're going to talk about is so insane and so fascinating to me because this involves somebody who was very obsessed with the show Dexter, and they took it way too far. So there was a man named Mark Twitchell. He was a pretty normal guy, a husband, a father, and he really wanted to be a filmmaker. So he started making short films in his garage, and the one he was working on was called House of Cards. So here is a clip from the actual short film that he made. Check it out.
It's a psychological thriller he said he was just doing for kicks, but it's believed Twitchell may have recreated his movie in a haunting case of life imitating art.
Action.
So here is the plot of the short film. A man who is married and has a seemingly normal life is a secret serial killer who seduces his victims online by using fake female characters. When they show up expecting a date, he kills them in the garage while wearing a scary mask. Now the scariest part, this was not just a plot in his short film. This was his life. So after he made this short film, in real life, he did create a fake female character and he did find a guy online. And that guy's name was Johnny Altinger. Now, as this fake woman, he invited Johnny to come see him, and then this happened.
On the night of October 10th, Altinger went to meet who he thought was a girl he had connected with online. She gave him the address to his South Edmonton garage. But when Altinger got here, there was a man waiting with a stun gun who said he was making a movie. A man police believe is Mark Twitchell.
Yeah, and the scariest part, the mask that he was wearing was the same mask he was wearing in his short film. Now that was the last night that Johnny had been seen, and his body has still not been found. Now Mark Twitchell is in jail for 25 years to life, and you're probably wondering, how did he get sent to jail if the body was never found? Well, this is where it gets even crazier. Police found a document that Mark wrote called Serial Killer Confessions, where he explained in graphic detail how he killed Johnny and what he did to him. He talks about stabbing him, dismembering him. It's intense. Now in court, when he was asked about this, he confessed and said that he did kill Johnny, and when they asked where the body was, he said he would not tell. Oh my god. That one is so disturbing to me because it's like a guy making a movie and everybody in his life, his family, his friends, they're all just like, oh, he's just crazy Mark, you know, making his weird horror movie, but it's all real. Well, there you guys go. Those were some of the scariest online dating stories ever. And hopefully this video helps you guys become more aware. I mean, everybody's dating online. I dated online. Everybody I know is online. But please do your research. If you're gonna meet somebody, find out everything you can about them. If you get a weird vibe, please leave the date right away. Always have friends contact you throughout the date to make sure you're okay. And do not go back to somebody's house on the first night if you have a weird vibe. All of those things can save your life. Well, there you guys go. Hopefully you enjoyed this creepy video. If you want more creepy videos, please give me a thumbs up so I know. And make sure to subscribe to my channel right down below and hit the notification bell because I make new videos every day. And if you want to see my other scary videos, I did one about deaths that happened from other apps, and I did scariest cults ever. I've done a lot of them. I'll put a link to a playlist right at the top of the description below. Alright, you guys, good luck on the apps. Bye.
Oh my god. And by the way, I just found out if I don't finish it, they spank me in front of the whole restaurant. I ain't drunk enough for this.